And welcome to Leigh Spinners Mill on Minecraft. This is part lane leading up to the mill. You can see Mill 2 coming up on the left hand side. The lodge and jackwell pump house on the right. That's the jackwell just in front here. The brook leading up there, and the lodge with the bridge, the original bridge leading to the mill. There, we'll have a look at that later. So, this is mill number 2. Mill number 1 is in the far distance. Nice view over the lodge. So we'll enter the ground floor. Main stairs going up and the main lift shaft. So this was the basement floor, basically used for humidifying equipment and for the storage of bales and cotton going out to the weaving mills. Well, the entrance to the ground floor of the mill. This is one of the rooms into the mill with the dust flue going up there. There would have been extraction equipment in here for that purpose. We'll look at the other end of the mill and the other floors. Just for anybody interested, the video playing in the background is the Bancroft Cross Compound Mill engine. Bancroft Mill, which will be back up and running again this year. It's well worth a visit. This is number 1 floor, which is the carding floor. The instruction room, we'll have a look in there at the moment in a minute. The hole where the line shafting will come through from the rope race, which would drive along the floor and go out to either side to drive all the textile machines. What is now our engineer's workshop, and the north light roof. Incidentally, you can see the bridge leading to number 1 mill, the chimney, the boiler house and number 1 engine house. So just take a quick look at the bridge. Incidentally, that is now covered over with the building between the 2 mills. A good view of the terraces on Park Lane leading up to the mill. Left shaft again, and we'll proceed up to floor 2, which was the first of the spinning floors. So this was contained with by the mule spinning frames, which you can now see one of, a woolen version of a Asa Lee's woolen mule, which is being worked on in the our construction room. You can see the basic layout. This is one of the toilets built onto the side of the tower. Second spinning floor, which is third floor of the mill. All the spinning floors are pretty much the same. Another toilet. This is the third spinning floor, fourth floor of the mill. A good view over there with the fields behind, and the brook disappearing off into the distance with the bowling green. A good view of the lodge down there with the road leading up. Incidentally, there's still work to do yet out there. And the fifth floor of the mill, the fourth spinning floor, with the ladder up to the tank in the roof, the firefighting tank. So this is the fifth floor, which will be our heritage floor. It will have a heritage store up here, it will have the archive rooms, and it will have interactive heritage displays eventually. So we'll proceed to the back of the mill. So these glazed areas are toilets. These were additions in the 1940s. We have the original plans for these, as well as plans for the rest of the mill. The dust flue there, and a humidifying shaft, and another humidifying shaft. This leads out onto one of the two fire escapes, with toilets to the right and the fire shaft there with the fields out to the back, and a rather nice view of number 1. So all the spinning floors would have had mule frames, 2 per bay, facing each other. So you can imagine the amount of textile machinery that was originally in both mills. So we'll hop up into the tank room. This is where the tank was for the firefighting equipment, and out onto the roof of number 2 mill. With the chimney between the mills. The top of the road race can be seen there with a glass atrium. And a rather fine view of number 1 mill. That is top of the engine house. We'll do a fly round later of the mills so you can see outside, and that is looking right down the road race. In real life it's about 90 foot high, that, and quite a view from the top. Possibly we'll be open to visitors in the future, but at the moment it needs a lot of work to get it to that condition. So we'll head back down through the... So Bill's a bit dizzy, I'm afraid I'm going to drop down the lift shaft. Oh, even though it's night time at the moment, we'll go and have a nosy around. So in there is now a substation. That was originally one of the oil stores. That is the entrance to the mill that we saw. There we go. That is now where where we store our compressor, which now runs our Barron engine. Eventually we're hoping to have a steam boiler in place to run the engine and that. That is the fire pump room, firefighting in the mill. So we've got now the engine house, and the engine house steps to number 2 mill, which regular visitors to the mill will be very familiar with. That's the switch room, number 2. And the engine house. The Barron engine in front there, and the high pressure side and low pressure side. With a view of the road race. There's the underdraft, boy just falling down there. So we'll go back outside. That's the mill. I will just show you the sculpture room as well. So at the moment all our visitors come up here or through the mill, and that is our sculpture room with a Cardan engine running along that wall and the mule against here, with the display around here of the mock-up home. So we will now go into the outside and take a look. This is the undercroft of our engine, the number 2 mill. That's the inlet pipe for the engine to the jack well, which took water from the Leigh brook. Eventually this will be open to visitors once we get it all sorted down here. And that's looking, the flywheel would be in front of me. And that's our location there. That's the co-creator there, Chris. The coal supply there. The boiler house in front there with the 7 Lancashire boilers in. Number 1 engine boiler house being these 3 here, and number 2 being them 4 here. Incidentally, number 1 was built first and number 2 was built after. And that will take a better look at those after. That's the top of the boilers, looking towards the chimney in the yard out here. Top of the economisers, so then it's 2 greens economisers. And number 1 mill, which will be open to visitors in the future hopefully. Engine house in front, sculpture room and office block. It's the undercroft for number 1 engine. The engine beds do survive, partly at this end and at the other end, back there. A view up the road race, rather impressive. Look along here, we go into number 1 engine house stairs. The toilets were in here and the engineer's washroom upstairs, and this is number 1 engine house, a view not seen by many people for quite a long time. A much different engine house, but a very nice design. A nice wide open window, number 2 engine house from distance. And a nice view up the road race. There we go. So with this mill you can go straight through here and into the sculpture room. That's the road race going up, very different design in this mill. And number 1 sculpture room. We'll enter the mill through here. Straight onto the carding floor, so same as the other mill. This is the carding floor. It's opposite handed to the other mill. There's the line shaft coming through there. Again, toilets at the end with the brown wooden partitions with entrance to the fire escape. The garage out there, which was used by the Atkinson wagon they had later on, and the air raid shelters next to it. So stairwell here. Entrance out the mill. This was the main worker entrance into the mill. This is a side entrance as well. With the basement of number 1 mill, pretty much the same as the other mill. So we'll go back up the stairs. That's carding floor. So this is the office block. This is one floor of the offices. So this is the offices. Apologies if there was a bit of a jump, the video stopped recording there. So that was garden floor. The office block here. The boardroom here. A nice roaring fire going. So we'll go up the back stairs here. This takes you up into what was the pay office. Another roaring fire going. Separate room built there, that takes you onto the main stairs. And this takes you into the roof space over the instruction room. That's view of the mill there. That's the rope race there. We'll head out here onto the main floor. So that's the lift shaft. Incidentally, both mills have windows and a lift shaft, but modern regs decreed that we can't have them, sadly. So there's one of the little rooms off the main floors. Both mills have these. Line shaft coming through there, a few out the window there. And this is one of these spinning floors. This is the first spinning floor. And the kind of floor being below us. Second spinning floor. Incidentally, we have worked off the original drawings for this, which has meant we've been able to do it quite accurately, even for Minecraft. So that's second spinning floor. And third spinning floor. Apologies, that is the fourth spinning floor, the fifth floor of the mill. So we'll now go and have a look outside by the fire escape. I will show you the bottom floor of the office block as well when we go around, but right, you know the sand dunes, it's Leigh on Sea. Well, this is the back of the mills. The area between is now covered by a building. And part line there, this is number 2 mill. And the tower coming up there. The lodge and bridge coming in there, and the bowling green there, and the park coming up there. which you can now still walk through. The brook there and the lodge there. The boiler house there. And the side of number 1 mill. It's one of the best surviving and largest surviving double spinning cotton mills in the country. So quite a rare survivor now, our mill. This is the entrance into the offices. To where we were before. And last thing is to show you around the boiler house.